This is Alex back with more updates on the new 2022 XLR 3016, and we're working our way through it. These trailers are built cheap, and with the COVID delays, manufacturing has been interrupted, which means you're probably going to get some things that wouldn't normally be there as far as flaws and workmanship. Update: if you have not primed your water system on your XLR, you're going to want to come into the master bed and slide the mattress out of the way, and there's a sheet of plywood that covers this opening, like 5 screws, 6 screws. Remove it to access your backflush water outlet. Once you do that, you'll have to come in and turn this valve. Oops, my flashlight's out. And what this valve is going to do is it's going to force your hose water through the pump back to tank. And once you've got your hose water back to tank done, you can go ahead and shut the water off, turn the valve back to this direction, and engage your pump. At that time, open up a faucet, let it purge the air out. Hot water, same way. Open up the hot water and let it purge air out. Now, once you've done that, you're going to want to listen to see if the water pump kicks in and off on its own. With the faucets off and the water pump on, it should build pressure and shut off to maintain water pressure. If for some reason you're hearing your pump kick on and off, on and off, on and off, that's a good indication that either you still have air in your line or you have a water leak. On my experience, this PEX tubing, which they have a mix of fresh water and PEX fittings here, what I found on mine that is it was cycling off and on after I was fairly confident that I had bled most of the air out. And I could hear something hissing, so I got the light out and I started to look, and I had water leaking from the hot water out as well as the cold water into the water heater. Upon inspection, I was able to remove this fitting here with my fingers, and also the fitting that goes into the water tank with my fingers. It threaded right out. It was not tight. It had plenty of blue sealant on it, but it had not been tightened at the factory, and the dealership did not catch this. Simple fix. These are PVC fittings. You must not over tighten. Run them in, snug them up, just snug. I mean, these things are brittle. And then reconnect your fittings and repeat the process of bleeding the air out once more. Now, once I've done that, I rechecked for water leaks and found that I did not have any more water leaks. My pump will pressurize and stay pressurized without coming back on. Couple other things that I found that you're going to want to pay close attention to is my wiring for the water pump. This wiring here was actually placed underneath this piece of wood with the screw going down, pinching these wires from factory. Simple fix. Remove the screw, use a small pry bar, gently lift, and see if you can snake your wiring out from underneath this bed structure support. Check your wires very closely for damage, and I got lucky. Mine were not damaged, and now I have them routed to where they're not pinched. Your transformer relay switch is mounted to the side of the bed structure loosely. They put 2 screws in it, but this thing was flopping around and was not going to withstand thousands and thousands of miles of transportation. So I went ahead and re-secured it, just a couple drywall screws, and really have it on here firm now where I can be confident that we're not going to have any more problems. My next project will be to reroute some of the electrical wiring, the ground strap. You can see that the ground strap is excessively long and they have it rounded right through the water, over the water pump. It's a mess. So we'll shut the power off, disconnect everything, test it with our tester to make sure that we have no current going through any of our electrical connections here. We'll take the cover off, we'll remove that ground strap, we'll reroute it out of the way, securing it as we go and making it a much nicer install so that we do not have anything bouncing around as we drive. As you can see, you know, driving down the road, this thing's flopping around. That's not what I want. Maybe okay for some, but for me, I would like to have it secured and routed properly. And as you can see, this is our generator box cover. It's a steel cover. And although the generator is fairly quiet, this steel cover will transmit heat and cold really efficiently. It does not block the noise as much as we'd like, nor the hot or the cold. So we're going to wrap that as best we can. I've already slid some insulation up on top of the box underneath where I can't quite reach, and we're going to wrap this side, the front side, and the back side with this peel and stick firewall insulation kit that I got online, a couple bucks. This is the first piece I've cut. We have to make a few notches for it to fit around our wiring, and then we will peel and stick it into place. I can also see daylight in some of the seams from the front cap and the floor. We're going to have to go in and make sure that we either foam them or silicone those up to minimize any air transfer for insulation purposes and comfort. So we are making our way through this, and we'll get back soon with another update on our progress.